It's the weekly show about Pro AV with the hottest news in the AV industry. It's Rave TV. Give it up for Steph and Gary. Steph and Gary.
Hey everyone, good morning, happy Wednesday. You all are stuck with me solo today because Gary could not make it. But don't worry, it's not going to be just me forever. I have Brad Hintze coming on, thank God, because I hate doing this alone. I feel like I'm talking to myself. I always feel like I'm crazy. But before that, you know how Gary and I are always really random on this show? We love to talk about things that we did. Last night, I went to a concert for Magdalena Bay. I bought the record, and very interesting, they have a song called True Blue, so very interesting that I have Crestron coming on today. That was very intentional, totally did that on purpose, but definitely go listen to them. They are like an up-and-coming, my friend described it perfectly, they are kind of like if Grimes and Tame Impala came together to maximize their joint slay. That is what that is like. So if you're into like a weird alternative pop, you'll like it. But yeah, okay, let's continue on. So the temperature check is still open. It's going to be open for a few more days. So if you would not answer my temperature check survey, please go do that. It is all about esports this month. So I want to know, is esports something that you're considering? I think it's getting bigger and bigger in AV because what do you need to have in order to have a good esports setup in a school, at a university, pretty much anywhere you need a good connection. And a lot of them are utilizing AV over IP because it keeps the latency so low. So I am interested. I've heard a lot of companies that are kind of leaning into that. I know like a few of them that I typically cover are leaning into that, but I want to know like how deep within the industry it actually is, because some people I talk to are like, oh my gosh, yeah, esports where we're really leaning in. That's what a lot of our installs are. Some of people are like, no, I've never done that before. So I'm just kind of interested in knowing like where our readers and watchers are kind of lying. So it's 3 questions and we pick 2 random respondents to each win a $50 Amazon gift card. So it's like 2 minutes of your time and you might win $50. So I think that's a pretty good deal. So please go to ravepubs.com and fill that out if you haven't already. So, okay, we are going to go into a quick spot for our friends at Crestron, and then I'm going to bring on Brad. All right, thank God I'm not alone anymore. Hi, Brad. Welcome to Rave TV.
Wait, what did you say earlier, Steph? Joint slay?
Yes, right now we are coming together to maximize our joint slay.
There we go.
Every time I have you on this show, we come together to maximize our joint slay.
I love it. It's so fun.
Yeah, take that. Your kids are really going to love that one.
They will, and they're always so proud of me whenever I do stuff like that.
So, okay, the reason you are on here, basically, we are talking today a little bit about how technology can create this culture of collaboration and not just enable it. But we're going to start that because you are creating a culture of collaboration right now because you are not at your house or at
No,
the office.
no, that's right. Well, I'm at the Crestron office
Yes.
in Europe, in Belgium. So we tomorrow we have a grand opening for a brand new showroom. But we moved into this office space about a year ago and relocated, and it's always great. I know, like, yeah, we have great technology, and you can always do a remote call, and we do them all the time. But getting together in person for these things, we're doing a sales meeting, we're doing a grand opening, we're doing an employee thing tonight too, and so it's always exciting to get in and build that relationship together. And so one of the things that we've been talking about and thinking a lot about is, while hybrid work is just a thing now, and we don't need to like ask the question, is hybrid work here to stay? I mean, of course it is, right? But what we're hearing from customers, and we think the opportunity exists, is that businesses need to foster an ability for employees to collaborate and work together, whether they're remote,
Yep.
whether they're in person, and technology can be such an enabler to that, right?
Yeah.
It can also be a detractor if it doesn't work well, if you can't hear people, right?
Yep.
We know all of that about collaboration, and so we're really focusing on how can we enable people to build this culture of collaboration through really great technology.
So, what exactly does that phrase mean to you, like culture of collaboration from a Crestron perspective?
Well, from a Crestron perspective, well, I mean, I think if I step out of, like, I work at Crestron and
Mhm.
think more like I lead a team, right? And I collaborate with other colleagues. It's really about, can people be seen? Can they be heard? Right? Can you have an effective conversation, right? Where you're able to accomplish whatever you need to do. And that is kind of a universal truth. Every organization needs to figure out how to do that. And
Yeah.
so as Crestron, we've been doing that for a long time, and we'll continue to do that. We're always, raising that bar. But I think it's important for us to focus on those are the outcomes, right? At the end of the day, that's what we're trying to enable people to do, is have this collaboration and do it freely and without a lot of distraction. And so that's what pushes us in terms of what kinds of products do we build? How do we
Mhm.
simplify it, make it easier to deploy? How do we make it really easy to use? So those, like, that's kind of what we spend a lot of time working on.
Yeah. So let's kind of talk about those products and like what Crestron is focusing on most right now. Like, what are the technologies that are helping teams collaborate more naturally and easier?
So there are three key areas that we like to boil it down to.
Mhm.
Content. You need to be able to share content and information. You need to be able to collaborate with remote people and in person. And then, of course, you need to make any space super simple to use. And that comes down to control. When you drill into those technologies, it's AV over IP. How do you distribute content, right? How do you
Mhm.
share content within a room, right? Just stick in a Connect adapter, and immediately you can see the content on all of the displays. Video conferencing, right, with intelligent video, and then a really simple, easy to use control system, right? Those are the core technologies. Every organization needs it in one form or
Mhm.
another, and so that's what it looks like here at Crestron.
Yeah. And not to like bring AI up, but to bring AI up, like we've seen we've seen that pop up a lot this year. And in a lot of places, it does just kind of, I think like people are just putting AI in for the hell of it.
Sure.
But
Yeah.
you guys are really intentional about the ways in which you use AI in your products to make meetings easier for the people who are in the meetings, like the ultimate end user. So, how are you thinking about AI in the context of collaboration rather than like just automation, you know?
Yeah, for us, it really is. We kind of focus on that Monday morning meeting, right? You
Mhm.
just want it to work, and
Yeah.
so as it relates to AI, there are a couple of things that we're like immediately, like right now, focusing on. One is high quality AV is important to enable AI, right? If you
Yeah.
have terrible audio, you're not going to get great transcription, right?
Yeah.
If you don't have the ability to host a meeting with AI, like a facilitator or a copilot or anything, in that if you don't have video conferencing stuff in the room, you're not going to get value out of it, right?
Yeah.
We've seen that multiple times where, a lot of people get used to running Copilot on their Teams calls on their individual laptop, and then they go in a meeting and the meeting room and the technology's not in there. Suddenly they're not taking advantage of the AI. So high quality AV is important there. Second, what that means is when you invest in AV, it's actually an investment in AI too, right? In that AV infrastructure. And then third, how can we leverage AI to simplify the deployment of technology? And this is something that you'll start to, I'm going to foreshadow a little bit, but you'll start to see a lot more of that from us at the beginning of the year as well.
Oh, you did that perfectly, because my next question was going to be like, so what's new? Like anything you're particularly excited about as we kind of close out 2025, which is while we're in Q4, but that aside.
Well, let's see. There is, we were just talking about it with the sales team. A couple things that we're really excited about is, one is the NVX 384 and the ability to have multiple inputs and switch between them, but also USB-C. It's been a really nice addition to the AV over IP line, but we also have this cool new product. It's like a random box that you wouldn't really think about. And we call it the mid-span power injector. I know it's like engineers totally took over on the name of that one. But what it does is you put it in line with your USB-C input, and then you can get power to it. And
Cool.
It's the perfect solution to put it at a lectern or at a conference room table where you can plug in and share content everywhere and charge your battery at the same time.
That's very cool.
Super cool application. So that one has been really going gangbusters, and people really love it.
No, it's always like the products that are the simplest that end up being like the most genius and the most popular.
Yep.
Oh,
Exactly.
that's awesome.
Yeah.
So what I'm like kind of like closing out here, a final question is like, what are you most proud of when it comes to Crestron, and how the company has really adapted and kind of seen and like really blossomed in terms of like how we're meeting now? Like you guys have really been at the forefront of helping to establish that baseline of collaboration and where people really are meeting right now. Like what are you most proud of there?
Well, I think that joining Crestron and then just watching the way the company works, I think one of the exciting aspects of what it is that we do is we have this ability to get in and partner with dealers, partner with customers to take our core technologies, but apply it in new ways that's intentionally engineered to solve some of those needs. And so I love hearing the stories of how we came to be, things like scheduling panels, right?
Yeah.
Taking a touchscreen, putting it outside of a conference room so you can see if that room is booked or not, right? That came out of a collaboration with Microsoft 15 years ago, and now we sell tons of it, right? And that continues to evolve. And so that's just one example of that. And then preparing for all the stuff that we have going on next year. They're really exciting proof points that we take all this input. We work really closely with customers to build what they need, but we're doing it in a way that isn't like totally sporadic, like running after all these shiny objects. It's this really cool application of the technologies we've invested in, the technologies we've built, but we apply it in ways that are new and engineered specifically for customers and the needs of today. And so that's what really gets me excited about being here. And it's really an honor to work with so many people that are really committed to that.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Well, thank you so much, Brad. Last question for you. If anyone has any questions or wants to learn more about Crestron or collaboration with Crestron, where can they do that?
Crestron.com, certainly. And then you can also follow me on LinkedIn. But there's also a lot of really great local Crestron employees that you can reach out to and learn more about what we're doing.
Awesome. Well, Brad, thank you so much. I appreciate you coming on today. One, because I didn't have to be alone, and two, because it's always a great conversation. I appreciate your time.
Likewise, anytime, Steph. Thanks.
All right. See you soon. All right, everybody, we are going to go into a quick spot from our other sponsor and partner, Shure, and we're going to talk about true understanding and how that starts with extraordinary communication, and I will be right back.
Understanding, it's what we're all after. In lectures where ideas ignite. In teamwork, uniting people and perspectives. In everything, we strive to understand clearly. Connect deeply, because when we collaborate better, we dream bigger. And when we dream bigger, we can change the world.
It's really chaotic today without Gary here, and you'd think it would be more chaotic with Gary here, but it's not. It's just really crazy. Okay, so I'm going to go into the news for the rest of the time. So this was pretty big news. This was last week, I think this was sent to me. So basically, Midwich Group, they have completely restructured their North American leadership. So this unifies Midwich US and SFM operations. So basically, like, this reorganization is just aligning the operations between those two, but they are still going to maintain independent business structures. And so basically, this is going to kind of strengthen everything between the US and Canada. Basically, I'm going to butcher his name. Ghislaine, I think it's pronounced Berger. He's the new Chief Executive Officer for North America. Chantal Morin is the Chief Operating Officer, but also Chief Financial Officer for North America. And then Tyler Breberman is Chief Vendor Officer for North America. Bobby Schwartz is stepping down as CEO to pursue another opportunity, I think. So if you want to learn a little bit more about that, and I'm sorry if I butchered any of their names, you can read the full story at ravepubs.com. There's nothing like the panic of reading someone's name on air and being like, I have no idea if I'm going to do this wrong. So continuing on, NSCA Displays is rebuilding the Circa Digital Spectacular. So what NSCA says is this is going to be the West Coast's largest curved digital out-of-home display, which is pretty exciting. So we have an image here, and I think that's just a rendering. But basically, this is in downtown LA, and it's going to be huge. So it's in the sports entertainment district, and this new LED is going to span 330 feet in length and cover a 20,000 square foot of like digital canvas. So it's going to be a tighter pixel pitch. So I think it's going to be 8mm, and it's going to be more than 55% additional pixels compared to the previous installation, which was also done by NSCA. So this is pretty exciting. So if you want to read more, if you want to know the specs of everything that's going to happen, that is, again, full story on Rave Pubs. So in some NSCA news, they announced the BLC, which is the Business and Leadership Conference. NSCA does this every year. So for the 2026 version, they have released the speaker lineup. So this is going to be in February. It's the 24th through the 26th. So a few weeks after ISE. This is in the Ritz-Carlton in Dallas, I think, or Irving, Texas. But basically the whole point of this event is like bringing together leaders from all different integration firms. And basically they explore strategies for growth and leadership and adaptability and trade ideas, and talk about like what it's like working in changing business environments. So basically there are some keynote sessions from Dr. Chris Kuhl. It might be Kuhl. I might be pronouncing that wrong. Again, I'm so sorry if I am. And then Frankie Russo, Josh Sundquist, Amanda Gore, and a few others. If you want the full speaker list, again, you can look at that on ravepubs.com. Okay, this came out, I think, yesterday. I don't know. I'm getting all of my days mixed up. I don't know what's going on anymore, or where I am, or what time it is, or when things come to me and when I post them. But this is from DisplayNote, and this is on the Launcher V2. So basically, this is it's meeting room software. It's latest version of its meeting room software, and this is made to simplify collaboration, basically improving management across shared workspaces. It's designed for IT teams, AV professionals, and end users. But basically, it's very similar to the original launcher, but it's got some new tools for control and customization and all of that. So completely redesigned interface, centralized management portal. There's some customizing that you can do on the home screens, but it also has integrated digital signage, which we're seeing in a lot of products like this now. But I think this whole idea is just making it more consistent across different meeting spaces that all use this across an organization, but also like easier to manage when you are scaling and you're having multiple meeting rooms in like a big company, big university, that type of thing. So if you want to learn more about it, more about the Launcher V2 and the central management portal, go check it out. It's on ravepubs.com. Again, I'm going to say this, all of these stories, ravepubs.com. Okay, so we have some like new openings of new offices. So first of all, Legrand AV, they have this new headquarters in Minnetonka. Hopefully I'm saying that right. I've never been to Minnesota, but it's in Minnetonka, Minnesota. And they opened these new headquarters on October 1st, which apparently it's like bigger than their last headquarters. It's 98,000 square feet, which all of this is well and good. But what is actually interesting to me here is that this building incorporates Legrand's own stuff. So Legrand's lighting, Legrand's AV, Legrand's infrastructure, all used in this building, which is like cool because if you're going to sell this stuff, I feel like you need to be about it and use it in your own office. So I like that they did that. But also, Legrand is also big on sustainability, and I really do like seeing companies like essentially putting their money where their mouth is in terms of being sustainable, because I think that in our industry and in every industry, we have greenwashing, which happens when companies claim to be sustainable or, post a picture, Happy Earth Day, but are essentially still creating a lot of waste. And I think that we're seeing a lot of companies stop doing that. Crestron is really great about that. But Legrand is another company that's really, really great about that. So nearly all of the existing furniture in this space was reused or sourced from pre-owned inventory, because I think, and that's really cool because it essentially reduces a lot of waste and the need for new materials. And they built this with energy efficient lighting, motion sensors that help the lights go off when someone is not using it. So I think that is kind of cool that they built this whole building, but made some choices that minimize the environmental impact as well. So if you want to read more about that and about the grand opening ceremony, you can do that again, where? ravepubs.com. So another new office area is from VuWall. So they have a new London office. So if anyone's in London, check it out. I'm sure they'll let you in. But this is an office, but it's also an experience center. So this is like kind of giving you like a firsthand look at what they can do for your control room. So again, it's in Salisbury House near Moorgate Station. Again, not from London. If I'm mispronouncing anything, so sorry to my British friends. But basically it is kind of like made because we're seeing this demand for more control room technology, and like mission critical visualization, especially in like public safety and transportation, corporate security. So we see this need. So I think that this is like VuWall's answer to that, because it's like a very interactive environment. You can go in, you can see of their solutions for video wall management, AV over IP, KVM, using their like TRX software and everything. So if you want to see exactly the technology that's in there, go read the story, and that is all there. Okay, so one more story I wanted to bring up. I guess it's kind of a case study. So Meow Wolf has partnered with World Builder. There's going to be, I guess I'm very LA today. There's going to be an upcoming immersive experience in LA. So World Builder is this platform that creates interactive digital twins. which it's like location-based entertainment. And they partnered with Meow Wolf to make this like an immersive art exhibition in what was a former movie theater. So it's really interesting because I think like World Builder was like a custom services provider, and now they're like kind of doing product based. And now it's kind of like this really cool artsy like immersive installation because Meow Wolf is very like storytelling. So apparently this is just going to use World Builder's platform to simulate and like refine spatial concepts. So that's all the information I have on it, which I guess is not a lot. So if you want to learn a little bit more, full stories on rave pubs, and I plan on following up about this like once they release a little more information because it's interesting. So, okay, before I leave you people, I'm sure this is like kind of boring, just me talking at you. But okay, launch week 12 is next week. And I work hard on putting all of these together, but I've particularly worked really hard at putting launch week 12 together. And making it a week that is going to be fun and is going to be interesting and is going to be like cool sessions and product launches and things that you guys actually care about and have told me that you wanted me to incorporate in future launch weeks. So I listened to you, and I'm so excited because we have Experiential Signage Day on October 28th, Ed Tech Day on October 29th, and Pro AV Day on October 30th. And each of these days is about 3.5 or 3-ish hours of content, and you get 3 CTS, CTSI, or CTSD RUs each day. As many of you know, you need about 10 a year because you have to renew your CTS every 3 years with 30 credits. So if you want like your full year of credits in 3 days, this is how you do it. And you can join from your own home office or your couch or wherever you would like to join. And I've worked really hard at putting all of these panels together, and we have really, really exciting and great keynote speakers that are going to kick off every day. Florian Rotberg from Invitus is going to kick us off on Experiential Signage Day. Gary Kay is going to basically talk about his classroom and what has worked for him in this like hybrid, high flex teaching model on Ed Tech Day. And then Alicia Henley is going to talk to us on Pro AV Day. So very excited for those 3 to kind of kick us off. But also we have really, really great panels throughout the day. And of course, some great brands who have partnered with us to make all of this possible. So please, please go register. Don't let me have done this for nothing. Go to launch lavnch.com and please register so that I will have put all this together and people can watch it and enjoy it and learn. We can learn together. So make sure to go do that. Have a good rest of your Wednesday. Thank you so much to Brad Hintze and the Crestron team for coming on here. Thank you so much to Shure for being a part of this. It means a lot. And I'll see you guys next week. So thank you. Bye.
It's the weekly show about Pro AV with the hottest news in the AV industry. It's Rave TV. Give it up for Steph and Gary. Steph and Gary.